Hi, Scorpio. Happy New Year. Welcome to your January 2022 astrological forecast. So, the big news, I guess, for you possibly would be that Jupiter moved into fellow water sign Pisces, where you have Jupiter, Pisces, actually, in your chart is your fifth house, okay, of romance and speculation, creativity, amusements of any kind, entertainment, games, sports, um, anything to do with children, but your actual children. So this is where your good fortune and your opportunities lie this year. Well, while Jupiter is here, right? So you should have more people to choose from. Let's put it that way. When it comes to romance, if you are doing anything creative, it should like really flourish right now. If you are possibly involved in a collaboration, same thing, or maybe you will develop one yourself. You'll decide to collaborate with someone else rather than just do it alone. You could have a little bit of luck when it comes to a small risk. I'd have to say a small risk because the planet Neptune is also here in Pisces. I actually did a video on Jupiter in Pisces, and I took into consideration that Neptune is also there at the same time. So these two planets are traveling together, so it is a little bit different than just having Jupiter in Pisces, right? So anyways, though, these planets, both of them are very spiritual planets, okay? Wherever it's transiting in anyone's chart, they'll be a little bit more thoughtful or selfless even. So you could actually get involved in something like that as far as a creative project goes, or any kind of relationship that you form with anyone at this time. If it revolves around art or entertainment or even romance, okay? It could be that you all have like a certain feel for whatever it is. It could even be something like really like esoteric. Not too many people are into whatever it is that you like as far as music goes or film goes or any kind of art, okay? But it should open up a lot of opportunities for you for romance. Okay, now having Neptune here though, Neptune is the planet that rules like illusion, okay, and delusion even. So with this planet just being here by itself before Jupiter came along, you might have had not been seeing, let's say, like a romance or a romantic partner in a very clear light. You know what I mean? You were seeing them the way you would like them to be, but it didn't mean that they were necessarily that way. Okay, or you were choosing people that were deceptive in some way or other. They were keeping something from you, it seems. I mean, you probably felt it, but they never really came clean with whatever it was about them that they wanted to keep from you. Maybe they were married, or maybe there was just something about them that they felt that you probably wouldn't like, okay? So, you know, now Jupiter comes along, and it enhances this a little bit. You know, it does expand your psychic ability, which is usually pretty right on. You know, no matter what level of ability you have, you could still really just follow your instincts and be correct, okay? Not really have to worry about like jumping to the wrong conclusion, because you usually really are right on about whatever it is that you're feeling about someone, but you don't have facts to back it up, okay? Pretty much what psychic ability is, right? So that's just something to keep in mind, that not everyone you encounter is going to be good for you. They could be good for you for certain things, you know, but maybe not romance. Maybe they're not like somebody to really settle down with, you know, but they're in your life for a reason. Okay, so this is the area of your life that you should be expanding in some way or other. This is also the house of fun. So I don't think I have to tell you that you're going to have to learn how to have more fun, okay, while this planet is here, okay? But you could actually take up some new form of, again, fun or amusement, something a little different. The month actually starts off with a lot of planets in Capricorn, right? Where you have Capricorn in your chart is your third house. The sun is here till the 19th. There's a new moon here on the 2nd. Venus has been here since, I think, like November that I can remember. Okay, and right now it's in retrograde motion. I actually did a video on that aspect too, Venus conjunct Pluto, because it was in effect for like 3 months. So it's in retrograde motion, but turns direct on the 29th, okay? And Mars moves into Capricorn on the 24th. And Mercury eventually makes its way back here in retrograde motion on the 25th. Okay, so your third house is your everyday life, more or less, like the people you would encounter throughout the normal course of your day, and like the places you would go, like the grocery store, gas station, something like that. This is your neighbors and neighborhood. It's also your siblings and cousins. This is a big communication and travel house. This is regular postal mail and email, voicemail, text message, any kind of communication. It's the written word. It's also a big internet house, okay? But like I said, it's big communication and travel. Especially, I would have to say, you know, when Mars moves into this area, and Mercury will be falling back in, like on the 25th, and Mars moves on the 24th into your third house. I'd have to say that you could have a kind of like a spontaneous trip of some kind, you know, something that maybe you hadn't planned, but it would be to do something fun, right? It could be, it's a local trip, more than likely a road trip. You could actually take some kind of transportation, though, something like a train or a bus or a car. But I mean, if you're not taking a car, that's something you would, you know, something a little different. This is like an overnight or weekend trip or day trip even. And this could be, you know, it is for fun, but it could be to actually visit someone or meet someone that maybe you have been in contact with. I don't want to say like you met them online. It could be somebody from your past, actually, that you haven't seen for a while. There could actually be an old flame coming back into the picture. So maybe that's what it is. You're just like getting together with an old flame that is now a friend, but who knows, that could, you could end up back together again for all you know, right? This is an increase in like your contact with your siblings or cousins or your neighbors or anyone, even your friends. There's a lot of communication going on here, especially when Mercury was like just here, and then it is falling back into this area again. So it could be a conversation that you started with someone, or news that you were waiting for, you know, or just waiting to hear something or other. When Mercury turns retrograde, it's in Aquarius, okay? But I'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, it will eventually, by the end of the month, be in retrograde motion back in your third house again. I think that you're going to get some kind of news that you were waiting on. Okay, there's a full moon in Cancer on the 17th, and where you have Cancer in your chart is your 9th house. It's directly across from this third house, okay? It's also a communication and long distance communication and travel house. So I think also medium publishing, internet house, many things. But I think around that time that you might hear something, you could... it could be long distance, you know, somebody could contact you, or you could receive something in the mail, or regular email, or even just like online and social media, somebody letting you know something. It could be, you know, full moons bring things to the surface, okay, so they can be dealt with, but I really don't see anything like that going on here for you. To me, I just think it's news of some kind that is kind of, I don't know, could be sad or just kind of surprising, okay. So anyways, the sun moves into Aquarius on the 19th, where you have Aquarius in your chart is your 4th house, and Mercury actually starts off the month on the 2nd, okay, in Aquarius, and it turns retrograde on the 14th and declines in degrees and goes backwards in degrees, okay. The planet itself never moves backwards, right? But as it is moving in direct motion, it starts at 0 degrees and goes up and up and up to like 29 degrees, right? So on this, when it's in Aquarius on the 14th, it does turn retrograde and starts to decline back in degrees and falls back into Capricorn. So that's how that happens, okay? So something, you know, you could start off some kind of communication or conversation when it's in direct motion, period, no matter what sign it's in, but when it turns retrograde is when you may even be reviewing something that was told you, or some kind of news that you were told. Maybe it's hard to believe. You're checking it out, you know, first before you really act on it. Okay, anyway, so you have the Sun and Mercury in your 4th house of Aquarius, and you know Saturn is still there. Saturn and Jupiter were traveling together, but Jupiter moved into Pisces, so now there's just Saturn here in Aquarius in your 4th house of your home and your family and your personal life and your childhood and your past, okay? But it's where you physically live, the property surrounding that. If you live alone, you know, that's one thing, but if you have a roommate, that person or those people or your family, something or other. But having Saturn here sometimes makes the living arrangement like kind of restrictive or depressing, or you could have something going on in your home that is bothersome to you. Maybe there's some kind of repairs that need done, you know, that your home could be falling apart, or wherever it is that you live. It could even just be that relationships are falling apart, and maybe not the home, but the family unit, or just like the people you live with. You know, somebody could become a bit of a burden, like at this time. Like when Jupiter was here with Saturn, it created a buffer area, and so you didn't get the full effect of Saturn by itself because Jupiter was there. But now that Jupiter has left, you are experiencing, everyone is actually, the full effect of Saturn by itself, you know, in Aquarius, in this house. Actually, it is one of the ruling planets of Aquarius, so it does well there. So it's not like too big of a deal, but it's just that you could be burdened with, like, possibly, I don't know, your parents maybe coming to live with you, or at least somebody having to stay with you because they're not well, or they need a place to stay, or something or other. You know, something like that could come up now at this time, especially with the sun there. There's activity going on in this area of your life, so it could be up for discussion right now. Maybe people are checking with you, you know, to see how you feel about that, you know. Mars, okay, before it moves into Capricorn, is still in Sagittarius up until the 23rd in your 2nd house, where you have Sagittarius, right? So your 2nd house is earned income, how you earn your money, your possessions, your valuables. It's even your own personal values and your self-worth, okay? But it's income. So having Mars here means that you are either developing or trying to find some way of adding a new source of income, or just adding to your fee or your pay rate, or whatever it is, however it is that you earn money. Like even if you don't work, or you're retired or something like that, you still have an income of some kind to live off of, right? So it's just right now, Mars is a very active and physically active and aggressive planet, so it's making you go after more money. So you could be trying to negotiate something right now as far as pay rate goes, but there's really nothing in your chart right now in regards to your career or work. So it could be something else that you're doing, but you're trying to bring in more money or a new source of income. Okay, so the planet Uranus is in Taurus, your opposite sign. Okay, where you have Taurus in your chart is your 7th house. It's directly across from your first house, right? And this planet has been in retrograde motion, but finally turns direct on the 18th. Okay, so your 7th house is your close relationships and partnerships. This is business and romantic, close friend, any kind of competition in either business and or romance. And it's also the house of open enemies. So just having Uranus here, okay, means that you are like attracted to or possibly involved with, okay, a business partner that you would never have gone into business with, and same thing with a romantic partner. They just weren't your type, but now all of a sudden they are, okay? When this planet turns direct, though, you may have been having some kind of problems within your close relationships with, let's say, one person wanting to wants their freedom, wanting to do whatever it is they want to do. As far as romance goes, they want to see other people. In business, they want to run the business the way they want it to be run, okay? So now that this planet has turned direct, maybe these people are open to now like discussing more favorable conditions, okay? Maybe they're not feeling the way that they did before when this planet was, like I said, retrograde. So now that it's turning direct, it's a little bit easier to deal with these close relationships, okay? So the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Scorpio on the 25th and 26th. And the best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Taurus, and those dates are the 10th, 11th, and 12th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, any kind of speculation or gambling, and anything to do with children. And those dates are the 6th, 7th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. The best time for money is the 1st, 13th, 14th, 15th, 27th, and 28th. The best time for your career is the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 15th, 16th, 17th, 29th, and 30th. So I'd like to thank my subscribers for returning and supporting me. Okay, and if you're new to my channel, subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell. You'll be notified each time I upload something. Also, check out my weekly forecast and check out Ask Me a Question in the description box below there. It's for people who are only interested in a few things about their chart. But if you would like to have your full astrology chart done, there's a link there to my website where you could get more information. Okay, so Happy New Year again, and I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.